It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer called Utenos Porteris. It's a Baltic Porter from Lithuania, coming in at 6.8% ABV. I've never had a beer from Lithuania, but I understand they've got a big home brew scene over in that country. There's the bottle cap. There you go. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. At this stage of the review, I'd like to thank our channel sponsors, beersofeurope.co.uk, the largest online beer store in the UK. Well, with great beer from Lithuania. Wow, look at this beer pouring out. A lovely, deep, very dark coloured ale. It's almost like an extremely dark mild, more than a porter, if you like. I would expect a Baltic Porter to be just a little darker than this. It's very, very deep ruby mahogany colour rather than being like a jet black porter. It's got a one finger, slightly off-white head, with nice rolling carbonation of the glass. Yes, so beersofeurope.co.uk, Lithuanian beer, American craft beer, British craft beer, a beer from Brazil, we've got some beer from France coming up soon, Belgium, Germany, you name it. If you've been away on holiday somewhere nice, or if you've worked away and you've been drinking the local delights and you want to try that when you get back home, check out beersofeurope.co.uk. They might have it, or they might not, but they got plenty of other stuff. Okay, let's get the aroma then on this Baltic Porter at 6.8%. Oh. Wow. It smells, in all honesty, it smells like a Scotch Ale. And again, I'm going to be more perfectly honest and say that I remember getting the aroma of a beer like this, a ruby red ale, from the UK years ago, before they changed the recipe and dulled down the beer. But this smells like the original Hobgoblin when it was brewed years ago to the fantastic recipe that it was. It's altered massively now, and it's not the same beer, but this smells like a really good legendary ruby ale, like Hobgoblin was. That smells so good. It's a rich, malty, bold, big, thick, gloopy kind of malty beer, if you like, with them lovely biscuity malts coming through. A little bit of alcohol on the nose, but you're going to get that at 6.8% ABV. Let's dive in and see if it's anything like a Baltic Porter. Cheers. This is not a Baltic Porter. Let me show you. Quite clearly says there, Baltic Porter style. Porteris. This is quite off the mark from being a Baltic Porter. There's not a lot of roasted malt. There's not a lot of chocolate, coffee, caramel. But what it has got in abundance, and what I really like this beer for, is that classic Hobgoblin taste. I've searched for years, literally years. Basically, a gentleman years ago, when I started the channel, I reviewed Hobgoblin in the bottle, and it was a very nice beer. I thought so back then because I was kind of new to beer. And this guy called Adam sent me 1 bottle of Hobgoblin and 1 can of Hobgoblin. And it was quite well known that the can was still the original recipe to the beer. So I did a side-by-side, bottle versus can, and the can was unbelievably good. Don't worry about it now. If you want to go and buy the can now and the bottle, they'll taste exactly the same because they've altered the can now to the current Hobgoblin beer. So it'll taste the same. But back when I reviewed it, it was the original Hobgoblin and it tasted just like this. This has got a little bit more of a kind of an alcohol warming sensation in the stomach. It is 6.8% ABV. It's about 1.5% more than Hobgoblin. But I've never been more excited to try a beer that's a completely different style from what it says on the bottle and really enjoy it. And really, only because it was an instant thought, bang, that's Hobgoblin. But I must now talk. I must leave that to one side and I must now talk to you about this being not a porter. It's a shame. It's a shame. I'm going to have to mark it down lower because it's a completely different style of beer. So again, with that out of the way, let's talk about the beer in the glass. What am I getting? I'm getting lots of rich toffee. Lots of it. It's like an alcoholic toffee bar. The toffee you hit with a hammer. It's like pouring some alcohol and a nice kind of bite of it. You do get little tiny notes of chocolate, coffee, caramel, but it's not much. This is definitely a ruby ale. It's bready, it's malty, it's biscuity, it's sweet. Nice alcohol kick. Very sweet beer. I'm just tasting now to see if there's any kind of hoppy, bitter finish on the back end. And there's not really anything, so we'll forget about the hops. There's not much in the way of hops in the beer. But yeah, okay. I'm going to rate it now. This is for sale at beersofeurope.co.uk. If you guys want to taste what Hobgoblin used to taste like, then buy a bottle of this. It's under the Lithuanian beer section on Beers of Europe. Go down to the drop box, find Lithuanian beer, click it, and you will find this Utenos Porteris there. Pick it up and taste the original Hobgoblin. But in truth, I'm going to give it 2 ratings. I'm going to give it, first of all, a rating on being a Baltic Porter, and that's a very low rating. I'm afraid I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I'm going to give this now a rating on being an amazing ruby beer and tasting just like Hobgoblin did years ago. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So make of this review as you will. If you're looking for a porter, don't bother. If you're looking to taste the original Hobgoblin, bother. Thanks for watching. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer reviews and cheers.